Hey, what is up, guys? It is Smoke Show. Welcome in. I appreciate you guys watching. So today we are doing some more breakthrough on Panzerstorm. Oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite maps. Nice open map. Nice map for some sniping. Open range, tanks and tank battles, and oh man, it's a great map for sure. It's actually probably next to Twisted Steel. It's probably my favorite map. U.S. versus the Germans, at least. So I do love this map so much. A little town here. This is gonna be the first objective, as the Germans do start spawning in. But before we do get heated up in this battle, I just want to let you guys know I am almost done building my PC, so it should be up and running by either tomorrow or the next day, and I'm going to be doing some Mountain Blade Warband stuff. So if you guys like that, stay tuned, and we'll be doing that as well. If you guys like this, I will keep doing some Battlefield battles as well. So but just want to make that announcement, and we're going to jump into this battle that has already started off to a very hot start. So there's only going to be one objective here, which is pretty simple, right in the middle of the town, as the Germans are getting absolutely mashed by American tanks. I don't expect the Germans to put up a massive fight here. Only because it's one objective, right? It's like Iwo Jima. There's one objective. The first objective is right on the beach, and that's it. So the whole army is going for A, but I don't expect the Germans to put up too much of a fight here. Just to set the tone for the battle. You see that on the top right that the reinforcements for the U.S. are actually a lot lower than, say, Iwo Jima, because there's only 3 objectives for the Americans to take, as the Americans do take over this easy objective here. But it does get harder for the Americans. They have a long way to travel. It's a really spread out map, which I really like. We're going to give it an above view here of what they have to go through. They have to go through wide open fields, through this whole entire space right here, just to get to these objectives. And I think the first objective will be right here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you see the flag there. And the second objective should be over here, right here. So it's going to be tough for the Americans to get through these objectives. A lot tougher. It hasn't started yet. But it's pretty much crunch time right away for this map because of the reinforcements the Americans, the low reinforcements the Americans have. So we'll see what happens, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch. Alright, so it looks like the Germans actually have a nice force at B. It looks like they're going to be able to hold here for a while. They have some tank support with some tank busters. That's what I call them. I don't know the exact name of those guns, but there's that. Looks like A is barely defended by the Germans. They probably should get some men over there, because the Americans on a little force over on the right side. The Americans are starting to move in, but they will be able to hold B for a while. Let's get up on the front lines, see what the Germans are doing here. They have a nice force on this wall right here. They are going to try and hold for a little bit. I'm not sure how long it's going to last. I do like this decision though, because if they do die right here, it's still going to take the Americans a long time to get through this field. So those guys who die up on that wall will already be spawned back at B or over at A to defend it. So looks like Baby Italiano is going around the German forces here, being a little sneaky. Let's jump on board with him. Sounds like he is getting chased. It sounds like the Germans are noticing him pretty easily right now. He does hear some Germans as well. Not enough Americans to really do anything. Does get a kill here. I hate it when those guns glitches out the guns glitch out like that. Let's check on the front lines up here. It looks like the Germans are still holding against the Americans. The Americans need to get the tanks up to the front lines a little more. It looks like actually the Americans are taking over Alpha pretty easily. They have most of their force over at Alpha. The Germans need to redirect their lines a little bit over to the right flank. Otherwise, they're going to be struggling. It looks like there are a couple troops going over there. Some nice U.S. Air Force. Baby Italiano is still in the middle of B. Hunter, I'm like 12909, trying to look for him. It does seem like he hears him. Looks like he's going to get killed here, though. Baby Italiano doing a really good job, but the Germans do notice him there. Not much going on over here. Looks like a German tank is battling some U.S. forces. But it looks like the Americans are going to be able to hold this for a while because there's just not enough German forces really contending that area at the moment. So it looks like some more Americans are starting to spawn a little bit more, as Pablo, kind of a noob there, not having the greatest reactions. As Ed does take out Baby Latino, but they are starting to spawn some more Americans on B, and B is getting taken over right now. The Germans need to do something, figure something out, but the Germans are taking back Alpha as they do push and take out most of the, actually all of the troops, it looks like, at Alpha for the Americans. And it looks like the Germans do take back B as some support, some tank support from the Germans, doing a good job of holding Bravo. The Americans need to get all 4 of these tanks up to the front lines, and if they can push, they could probably take over B pretty easily, and then focus all of their attention on Alpha. So it looks like the Americans are actually doing what I just said, pushing up some tanks as that American truck does get destroyed. They are pushing up the tanks pretty slowly. They're picking off the Germans one by one, as you see. Just Corinne, he does get killed, or she gets killed. The Americans are trying to work behind Alpha and try to take back A. It is going to be a tough task, though, as they do. The Germans do have a tank. They need to take out that Tiger tank. Otherwise, it's going to be a huge problem for the Americans. But the Americans are pushing up at B, doing a really good job, pushing the front lines, really putting a lot of pressure on the Germans. Let's jump on with, well, never mind. He just got destroyed. So we'll try and jump on with somebody else. I was going to try to jump on with somebody who was really dug in, but I guess we can jump on with Get Steppin'. Pulling out the bazooka. As you see, the tanks really putting the pressure on the Americans. He is trying to take out the tanks, missing that shot there. I mean, you can just see all the blue right now. We're going to go into an above mode view real quick and check out where the lines really stand for the Germans and the Americans. The Germans are really holding A pretty steadily right now. They have a nice little force over there, really holding it decently. The Americans still have 3 tanks in the back line, 4 tanks, in fact, over here on the top right screen, backing up. I don't know where he's going. Probably get some ammo. Some U.S. Air Force striking the Germans, but the Germans are really holding pretty well as the Americans do force their way into the bunkers. But I don't know how long it's gonna last, because it looks like the Germans are outnumbering them at the moment, as the Germans are doing a pretty good job of getting some kills here. But the Americans are fighting back in the trenches, it looks like. Germans still doing a pretty good job of holding. I'm really liking their defense at the moment. Because, you know, the defending this area, it's not easy. I mean, attacking it isn't easy either, but it's so open, you can just get picked off really from wherever. It looks like the Americans actually have the superiority in the air, and really they have the tank superiority. So I don't see any reason why the Americans shouldn't be at least capturing B right now. It looks like the little force on the left flank of the Germans are pushing up right now. Just a couple of troops pushing up at the moment. They need to get the tanks up again. He needs to get up there pretty quickly and get some kills. I do see him getting hit though, so I do understand a little bit. He doesn't want to push up too far to get destroyed. They only have 99 men left, so it is getting down to crunch time. It's a little bit of a shorter breakthrough, but I do like it because it makes it more, what is the word I'm looking for? I don't know the word. It makes it more urgent, I guess you could say. That's the word. Nothing going on over at A, but it does make it more urgent, having less reinforcements for the attackers, because they are attacking a lot more, and they are, it is a lot more action, as you can see. Nice, I don't know what happened there, but it looks like an American plane does go down. You are seeing some American Air Force trying to take out some Germans as much as they can, trying to help the ground support. He needs to get a little higher and trying to get some kills there. Looks like he's repairing at the moment. We're going to ride with him for a second and see what he does for this second run around. He's going to get some ammo here. Alright, so it looks like he's gonna, I'm not sure what he's doing actually. It looks like he looked like he was gonna turn around and go for another run, and it looks like that's what he's gonna do right now. Let's see how many kills he can get, if he can get any damage done here. We need to get back to the front lines, so I hope he can do something here. Let's see. I'm not seeing him really doing anything. But anyway, it looks like the Americans really pushed up on B as a Tiger tank. He is trying to take out these tanks and really even the playing field right now. B is at a halt, and it looks like the Germans are taking B back over. It looks like A is still held on by the Germans. The Americans are trying to make a push for it. Only 62 men left for the Americans. The Germans are starting to push over reinforcements from Alpha over to B and see if they can really make a difference and make sure that Bravo doesn't get taken over. A nice force. They're going to meet a small American force over here. Let's see if we can get that guy up. He does get him up, but he does get killed again instantly. Emin does not know there's a guy behind him, as B does fall back to the Germans. But it is now a close range combat type of situation right now, as the Americans are flooding in to Bravo. I do expect them to capture it really soon. German lines broke pretty easily. They need to take out this Velocity over here, who is holding on, but it looks like the Americans just overwhelmed the Germans at Bravo, and now the Germans are going to be forced to defend Alpha as they lose Bravo pretty easily. But it looks like the Germans are starting to take back Bravo again, as they pull some reinforcements out of their butts and start to capture Bravo again. So great job by the Germans. 40 men left for the Americans, not doing too well. I don't know how much more they can take. They need to capture B again, or A, immediately. Otherwise, they're going to lose this battle pretty quickly. The Americans did capture the first objective pretty quick and pretty easily back at that little town over there, but it has been a lot harder for the Americans to do anything else. They need to get these tanks up. Look how many tanks that they have. They have 4 tanks that they can push up right now and really do some damage, but they're really not doing anything. 31 men left for the Americans. I really don't see much hope here at the moment unless they can really get these tanks up to the front lines and do something, as one tank is moving on to B at the moment. There's a little force in the middle here for the Americans that is moving up. Another tank over there in that smoke, but they need to be careful. These tanks do, because they're starting to get surrounded by some infantry at the moment. A nice view here. I do like this view, but this tank looks like he's going to get destroyed as the Germans do flood the tanks and do a really good job. So Siphon right here doing a pretty decent job of getting some kills, really holding off some German forces, getting some kills here. He does get taken out though. It does halt the Germans from really getting a lot of forces. It looks like the Germans are going to pull this one off pretty easily, actually. I see a nice force over here for the Americans on the left side, but a little lag there. I really don't see much else going on for the Americans. So we might have to go on to the next battle. We might play through the next battle. I might just do the commentary through the next one. This battle a little stale, but I mean it was pretty good defense by the defenders. You gotta let the defenders win every once in a while, right? So it was a nice defense by the Germans. They did a really good job of defending the bunkers or the trenches and the wooded area of that Alpha flag. So we'll have to see what map is next here. Best squad, Charlie, 24,000 points. Short game, a lot of points for a short game there. Alright, so let's see here. Let's see what map is next. Twisted Steel. Okay, alright, we'll do it. We'll do it. I already posted a Twisted Steel video, but we'll start off with some Panzerstorm, and then we'll hit up some Twisted Steel. Twisted Steel might take a little bit, but that's okay. Whatever, right? I'm alright with it. Alright guys, so two of my favorite US and German maps in a row. So Panzerstorm and Twisted Steel. The Americans are defending this one. The Germans are attacking. Again guys, I love this map so much. You guys probably watched my other video, and that's fine. But the bridge really makes this map so unique. Obviously, right? There's going to be an objective right in the middle of the bridge right there, as soon as they get through the first objective, if they can get through the first objective. But what makes the first two objectives so unique is this little area right here. If whoever has this area, this middle area, this street, can fire down upon each flag and can really do a significant amount of damage, really more on this side than any side, because there's some buildings over here, but they can do a significant amount of damage. So in this one, the red is going to be the US and the blue is going to be the Germans. So as the Americans are starting to get into defensive positions, some snipers and some support setting up on the bridge here. We're just gonna have to see what happens here. Already some air battles going on there. You gotta love air battles, right? They're just so fun to watch. All right, so right now, let's see what happened. It looks like the Germans are actually already pushing on B and both B and A. The Germans actually have a ton of forces at A. We're gonna have to take a look at this real quick. It looks like they might be able to take over Alpha pretty easily as some bombs go right through the middle of Alpha. The Americans are trying to get some forces up there to defend it, but it looks like they're going to be overwhelmed pretty easily, pretty quickly, as the Germans do capture A very fast, and some more a big force of Germans over at Bravo. The Americans are just getting overwhelmed right now. It looks like a lone soldier was able to get there is a spawn beacon right here from Captain Kevin 19 in that house, so that's going to be a big problem. They need to take that out pretty quickly. Let's check over here at A as this battle gets off to a really quick start. The Germans are going to try and push for this street right here. Americans looks like they're not going to make it easy on them. It looks like the Germans outnumber them by a good 2-to-1 margin. As the Germans really making quick work of them right now. The Americans really need to get Bravo and defend it as long as they can. Really need to take out this spawn beacon, as this house right here has become a huge problem for the Americans, or for the Americans. I'm getting mixed up between colors because, you know, you want the Americans to be blue and not red, but it's weird. I don't know, because they're defending, they're red. It's weird. Very weird. So it looks like the Germans do take this bridge, and now they are going to be able to fire down on Bravo. I don't expect Bravo to really last much longer, because the German forces are sending in a bunch of troops as the Americans actually do capture Bravo back. They need to take care of this house. They are trying to do so, as they are getting picked off. They need to get up in this roof area, as the spawn beacon is still relaxing up there. Actually, it does get taken out. So let's check over at A. So it looks like there are a couple snipers over here. Some more men moving up through here. Looks like they're going to try and attempt to get A. The Americans are doing a pretty decent job over here at Bravo, holding it as long as they can, just getting as many kills as they can before they move on to the main objective, which is the bridge. Which is going to be a very tough objective. But again, though, the Germans are doing a really good job at the moment, as a German tank does start to put some support down at Bravo, but the Americans are slowly moving in at Alpha, going to try and take over A, because there's no Germans except one lonely sniper trying to defend it, as he does get taken out, and now support does spawn in. Some more German men starting to spawn in at Alpha, noticing that it's about to be taken over by the Americans. I'm seeing a lot of American snipers right now. They need to really even it out with some more support, medics, and assault troops, as we are going to move back to the next objective, which is going to be right here in the middle of the bridge, which is one of my favorite breakthrough objectives in Battlefield. And then the other one is going to be over here at this small little town. That's going to be tough, but you know, the Germans are mostly going to focus on the bridge, because it's just so strategic. If they can just capture over the bridge, they can focus on this little town and capture it pretty quickly. We'll just have to keep an eye on this battle. So fun to watch, so fun to play. They need to take out that tank right here. Velocity 109 is going to be a big problem if they can't take him out. Let's jump on board with him, as he is 2-1 right now with 1,000+ points, and raising those points as he's trying to take out some defenses at Alpha from the Americans. Look at all the dead Americans at Alpha. See how the tank really pierces through the American forces. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Tanks are so vital in these types of situations, as he does really help the Germans capture A, as they are slowly capturing it right now. The Americans are trying to push back, but that tank is going to be a problem. They need to send a force around and take out some troops from behind and take out this tank. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem. You just see so many Americans dying from this tank. It's not going to be fun for them. They need to take it out. So let's go check over at B. So it looks like the Germans are doing a pretty good job at B as well. Americans are really struggling to really do much. As they can't even push up at A. It's too big. It's too small of a vantage point for the Germans. It looks like they might wipe out this objective too. America's not doing a really good job of defending their objectives at the moment. I thought that objective would last a little longer. But the Germans do have a long way to go. This is a longer breakthrough map. Next objective is going to be right here in the middle of the swamps, which is a little bit of an open area. A lot of places to hide for American snipers. And then over at B, it's a little bit more easier at B. Looks like the Germans are going to be able to capture this one pretty quickly because there's just nobody defending it whatsoever. Most of the force, the German force, is at B. They're already capturing it at the moment. But it looks like there's going to be more tank support for the Americans, so it's going to be make it tougher for the Germans to capture objectives. So it looks like the Germans are going to be able to capture B pretty quickly and pretty easily, as the Americans are trying to make a bigger push for it. Not going to be able to do anything. Just look how many men are just crossing this river right now. That's a good 15-20 men. They're not going to be able to do anything much at A, though, because they're only sending over a couple of troops over here at A, as the Americans defending the bridge pretty well, but the Germans are going to be able to cross right here across this area and flood it into A. So the Americans have a little bit of time to set up a defense here, though they need to do it quick, as the Americans are starting to defend this little town over here and maybe try to make another push for B. But it looks like the majority of the German forces are starting to move over toward A. Let's get an above view and see what's happening. You can see all the arrows pointing toward A. Gosh, this is scary for the Americans. I would love to see these American troops right here, these four right here, to really do a significant amount of damage on these German troops. Really taking them out and try and taking them out. But they need to get more American troops over here at Alpha. This tank, for instance, right here, he needs to get over there. He needs to get up there and really start doing something. He's really focused on that one tank over to the left side, trying to take him out. Looks like the Germans are going to try and retake or take Alpha. Now, the Americans have more of a force over here than the Germans do. They can try and push up the B and try to retake Bravo, but it looks like the Germans are retaking or taking Alpha over pretty quickly. So I don't think the Americans are going to be able to last very long in this battle. They're just not defending their objectives very well at all. As you can see, the new flags already starting to spawn. 3 flags. This is going to be very tough for the Germans, but you can see all the red dots. Look how spread out they are. Look how ready the Germans are good. They're just ready to go. They're good to go. They're about to attack Alpha. I expect Alpha to fall first. Look at this force that the Germans have. They're just ready, waiting for the last man to drop so they can move forward toward Alpha. You can just watch all of these men move to Alpha immediately as soon as they can. This one last man is back here. Looks like they're gonna go try to take him out. Looks like he's going to get taken out pretty easily, as the Americans are still defending. he's going to get taken out. As he does get taken out, and now watch the German forces flood in as they are already making their way to A, B, and C. Mostly to A, so we're going to have to watch that area. And B, it looks like they're sending up a force to B as well. We'll have to see what happens there. All three objectives, B, C, and A, do have a small force at each, but they really need to focus on two objectives. If they lose one objective, that's fine. Defend the other two. They cannot have 5 men here, 5 men there, 5 men here. It's just not going to work out for them at all. It's not a good strategy for them, as the Germans are starting to take over C immediately. B is under pressure by the Germans already. A is already under pressure by the Germans. The Germans look like they're just getting the majority of the kills as the Germans take over C immediately. B is in trouble. They're going to be sandwiched if A gets taken over. So it's crunch time for the Americans. They need to get some kills. They need to defend better. I'm just not seeing many strategic moves by the Americans at the moment. Nice tank support by the Germans. The Germans are looking to end this very quickly, as look at this team right here. This just makes no sense to me whatsoever. What is he waiting on? What is he waiting on? He's waiting on nobody. Nobody's even over here. He needs to notice. He needs to fall back to B. Look at all of these German troops. You can see now that A and C are both captured by the Germans now. The Americans, all they have is B to defend, and now they are going to get sandwiched, and they're already getting sandwiched as the German forces are already flooding into B. These guys over here not even noticing it. They need to do this correctly. They're not getting anything done at the moment, as the Americans are making another push for C, trying to get C back, but the Germans look like they're just over flooding the Americans at the moment. This is just not a good thing for the defenders. The Americans look like they're going to lose this battle unless they can recapture C back and do it quickly. If they can't do it quickly, then they're going to be in trouble. It looks like the Germans are going to pull this one out. Man, the defenders in both battles really failing. That was fun. That was fun. But the defenders really not doing a good job in either battle. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in. We got 2 battles in pretty quickly there. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, do whatever you can. And again, guys, I'm going to be doing some new things on the PC here soon. Probably going to get some Mount and Blade Warband too, if you guys like that stuff. Maybe some other strategy games. Comment below on what games you want me to play, and I will see you guys next time. Adios.